So Japan has roasted woke Twitter, and it was absolutely hilarious. I've talked about how the Sailor Moon Challenge, how there were people who came in there trying to throw in their politics, and Japan came in there, and they just started going after those Puritans. It's absolutely beautiful. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, Japan has laid the smackdown on woke Twitter yet again, and it is absolutely glorious. I mean, they went after the Puritans that were trying to ruin the Sailor Moon art challenge for everyone, and oh boy, this is one of the funniest things that I've seen. And Japan made some beautiful points. So at bwormhold, we're going to take a look at their statements, and here they are translated. So this is what Wormhold stated. Kuala Lumpur paints a Oriental Sailor Moon. I don't think this is a problem, but the praise comment is interesting. Many of the people who participate in this redraw have whitened her. This picture is beautiful. I'm not an ist, but it's strange because the anime characters don't look Japanese. It's more racial than the original. Now, what Wormhold is pointing out here, Wormhold is pointing out how there was one artist, which I talked about in a previous video about this, that had made a very good art piece of Sailor Moon for the redraw challenge. Now, here's the tweet that he's talking about here, which very good art, looks very beautiful. Now, the art is not what he's stating is the problem. That's not at all a bad thing, because, if you look at the art, it's very beautiful. That's not the problem. The problem that Wormhold here is bringing up are the people who commented on this. Like, for example, he pulls up the people that were the issues, these Puritans. They came in here and stated things like, "So many people whitewash her in the challenge. Thank you, this is so beautiful. Not to be ist, but it's weird how anime characters often don't actually look Japanese. This portrayal of her makes me think of Rio Metal. Thanks for this. This is more racially accurate than the actual show." So he points out these people, right? These crazy people. And this is what he states. And so the problem of anime characters are mostly white people. In my poor English, I gave my explanation here. It is pointed out the characters that are not drawn as ethnic stereotypes tend to look closer to their own ethnicity. And the Japanese fiction has a category called statelessness. See, now this is where this gets very vital. This goes back to when a voice actor had actually came out and went absolutely nuts. I mean, this voice actor went crazy on Twitter, and they were trying to push their own political agendas into it, and they tried to state that anime's too white to me. That's what they were saying that anime was way too white, and Warhol at that time went after them, talking about how they didn't understand anime then, if that was the case, which this voice actor was being completely idiotic, and this was their statement. "Who's us? I'm Middle Eastern, and a shit ton of anime seems white to me." Yeah, then if you think that, then you don't understand anime. Anime is very diverse. And to think that anime is too white, that is one of the most ignorant things that I have ever read. That's ridiculous. And then this person went crazy, and they just started saying, "More representation in anime, more representation in anime." All this stupid stuff. And this voice actor was trying to push his political agenda into anime, which was ridiculous. Well, with the Sailor Moon redraw challenge, thing of it is that you had Japan jump in, they just started roasting and bringing up excellent points against woke Twitter. And this is what they were stating. "I don't know why the race of creation is so trapped. Rabbit is a rabbit." Get it? Because Usagi, it translates to rabbit. I like that. So then they continue, "I haven't changed my face from the previous life." Another one goes in here saying, "Japanese people have little idea of race, so when you see a deformed picture, you don't really think about what kind of race this character is. Unless, of course, race is emphasized as a feature of the character." So see, they look at characters for characters. They don't see like these Puritans do. These Puritans try to make up the whole, "Oh, well, Sailor Moon's whitewashed. She's whitewashed." no, she never was, and nobody that is of normal mindset looked at her that way. And that's the thing. These Puritans are insane. They're crazy people. They try to push their politics in anything they can and ruin it for everybody. It's ridiculous. So then another person said, including the body, there are green and pink hair, and half of the face is an ET-like anime or manga face where human genes have already improved. But the skeletal feel is so Japanese. If you have a fan who you like, you can do whatever you want. And that's basically implying that when it comes to art, you can do what you want with art. That's how art is. The redraw challenge. People had fun with it. People were just doing it for fun, and it was just meant to be a fun challenge. That's what it was. Now, another person comes in here and states, people who think all cartoon characters look white unless they have stereotypical ethnic features are ignorant. Oh, that's true. That's very true. They aren't able to see the underlying humanity between all people. Many of them think they are progressive, but they're just spreading white supremacy. Oh, ouch. Yikes. Oh, these Puritans. How's that burn looking? You might need some ointment for it. Anime and manga are incredibly diverse. Yes, they are. There are Japanese cartoons where the characters look very realistic and unquestionably Asian. There are cartoons where they're iconic generalized people. This is normal. Cartoons all over the world are like this. And you see, that's a really good point to make right there. And so then more people continued. This was a good one. It was where one person said, anime characters are one category called anime characters. I mean, we're talking about fictional characters here, right? We're talking about fiction. So another person came in here and said, somehow, if you complain to that extent, you have to consider it an anime or a manga. I mean, yeah. That's what it is. And, that's the thing. It comes down to it. People look at these characters as characters that they enjoy. They don't look at the characters in these ways that the Puritans do. They look at it as, this character's a character, I enjoy this character. They don't worry about that kind of stuff where the Puritans are like, oh, well, it's whitewashing. It never was whitewashing. These people are literally insane. And I mean, you can see it from these Puritans. You really can. They're crazy people. And, by trying to state that Sailor Moon herself, that she was whitewashed. Yeah, really telling about your perspective there, Puritans. Really, really telling. Because that's a bigoted mindset. I'm just saying. A small child draws a picture of a girl and is asked by the surrounding people, is this so-and-so Chen? But the person in question is not drawing himself or anyone, but only drawing a picture that is packed with his pretty, or after all, if you are not interested in pictures in anime, what is the most important factor? Even if there is no idea of simply drawing a fantasy life. Another person states, wow, I have experience with it. I wonder why you ask, is it so-and-so? Usually I was told by someone who didn't paint. I mean, what were those junior high school guys who weren't very close to, but who removed my drawing? Another person comes in here to say, it's hard to say when the concept of race exists in the fictional world as expected is the power of discrimination. Oh! Oh! Youch! These kind of we are supreme type of comments make me so sick. How dare they judge what we look like and what is correct? We Japanese can paint any color to the character's hair. That's true. They certainly can. An artist has a right to draw whatever they like. They have a right to make the characters look however they want them to look. I mean, that's an artist for you. Everyone has their own specific style, and they're going to do things in their own way. That's the point of a creative vision of an artist. What is racially correct? I wonder where the third race is. Another person responds, it may be surprising for Westerners, but in the first place, blonde hair appears besides Caucasian, European. The photo shows a boy from the Republic of Vanuatu, I'm sorry if I butchered that, near Southeast Asia. So, that doesn't mean it's whitewashed. See, they're proving the fact that Sailor Moon is not whitewashed. And that blonde hair, can also originate from other places as well. That's a pretty cool fact. I have to give them credit. Another person came in here to say, I see no problem with the art either. However, Usagi is Japanese. Sailor Moon takes place in Japan, and these comments sound more ist to me. And that's because they are. When you look at these Puritans, what they usually do is they self-project themselves onto other people. And it really shows the perspective of these people. It really shows their mindset. And it shows the bigotry of the Puritans. That's the thing. And people are getting sick and tired of them trying to push their politics into things. People are getting sick and tired of this. More people are realizing these sort of things are happening, and it's just frustrating. I mean, that's why people are tired of seeing it in entertainment all the time, This is why people fight against the Puritans and them trying to push their politics into everything. It's hard for people who can't understand deformation as deformation. Cartoon characters are cartoon characters, not others, so they aren't real people. Now that's a really good point. I mean, after all, we're talking about fictional characters here. But another person goes on to say, I wonder if it is people who have escaped reality too much and confused two-dimensional with real and went to higher dimensions only with a spirit that cannot return to reality. I would like to bring races up to and take in advantage as hard as possible. It's painful to see what I'm doing. Another person goes on here and says, unless you're using real material as a theme, most people don't think about nationality in anime. No, they don't. That's true. I mean, whenever I myself go into watching an anime, right, I think about the series I'm getting into. I'm thinking about the world, its lore, its characters, and that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not worried about race or nationality. That's just me, though. The Japanese are said to be yellow, but when the Japanese look at the Japanese, they do not look yellow and can only be described as flesh tones. Even white people are pink. Japanese people have no sense of discrimination in skin color. And see, that's interesting because they just look at people as people. They don't care what they look like. They just look at another person as another person. And I think that's great because that's how people should really just see it. I don't want anime to seem that way because of an arbitrary interpretation. Ooh. Stereotypes of Asians. I think it's an obvious case of race discrimination. Oh, yikes! Caught out the Puritans on that one. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's a burn. Ooh. 2D is 2D. Don't bring race walls. Good point. That's good too. The way of thinking is fundamentally different. I think many Japanese maybe don't think it is a Japanese or foreigner when they see anime characters, but from an overseas perspective, that may be an important point. Only to the Puritans is that important because they try to push their politics into anything. A normal person just looks at entertainment as entertainment and they just try to have a good time with it. These Puritans, though, they're unreasonable people that, you can't talk to on a normal level because they just make it all about politics and then attack anybody that disagrees with them. That's how they work. Other people, normal people, typically we just look at it as, oh, this is good entertainment. I enjoy this. For the time being, I thought that the concept of deformation was thin elsewhere. Unless you understand this, there won't be a day to discuss it with them. Oh, and there never will be. Puritans are unreasonable people. There will never be a day that you can reason with them, that you can have a natural conversation with those people. You can't. You just can't. Because Puritans are just illogical and they want to shut out any form of the truth. First of all, she may not be an Earthling, but it's because they weren't familiar with Japanese culture. They will never notice that the character of the rabbit, Tsukino, is made of the image of the white rabbit and the gold of the moon in the Japanese fairy tale Moon, at least while calling it Sailor Moon. Foreigners really like this nasty logic. If there is a race that looks like an anime character somewhere on Earth, please introduce it. Do people forget that Usagi is Japanese? Do they also forget that it's a fictional character? It just keeps coming, huh? Yep, and that's how the Puritans are. They continue to try to push all of this. They try to push their agendas into anything they can. And these Puritans, that's why they're going to keep trying to get in the door of anime, and this is why we have to fight back against that. We have to keep them out of it, because the more they try, the more they're going to try to make Japan bend the knee and change. And this is one thing that many people are seeing. This is one thing that many people are trying to fight against. And this is a big thing because when you look at it, more and more people are starting to realize this stuff is going on. And what are they doing? They're trying to fight back against it. Japan is fighting back against these Puritans because these Puritans are trying to push their colonial values onto Japan, and they're tired of it. This is why we need to keep the Puritans out of anime. We need to try to protect anime from these Puritans trying to ruin it like they have other forms of entertainment. But anyways, I'll be back again on Tuesday. Let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and make sure you were still subscribed because YouTube is unsubscribing people from all their favorite channels. So make sure you were still subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like, and also be sure to share the video on social media. Spread the word and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the channel a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on Discord. We have a wonderful community there. Not only that, but it will keep you up to date on when the newest videos will be released, as well as any other upcoming events in the near future. So be sure to follow me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always do better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.